Hi Pankhurst class, thank you so much to all of you who joined in this morning's live session. I think it was really useful to go through some of the things that we found tricky, looking at the challenges with regards to reading the graph information. And today we're going to be interpreting our bar chart information, so hopefully that will help with that as well. I went through some questions with a couple of children at the end of our live session. So if tomorrow, if there's any more questions that we have with regards to today's lesson, let me know and I'll go through those with you carefully. So in today's maths lesson, we are drawing, reading and interpreting information from a bar chart. So we've already had a look at some pictograms. Today we're having a look at bar charts, and it is the 11th of February today, and this is lesson 4 for maths this week. So in today's lesson, we're going to be learning to explain what a bar chart is, to complete a bar chart using given data, to identify and use key information in a bar chart, and to draw a bar chart. So quite a few different aspects today for our bar chart information. So let's start with our lesson starter. There's 4 questions on here. And I'd like you please to have a look at the questions carefully and write down your answers on a whiteboard with a whiteboard pen or on a scrap piece of paper. So go through those for me now. So you've got 4 questions. First question says, how many children's favourite colour is green? I'm going to make it larger for you. Question 2 says, find the total of £3.25 plus £4.78. So you can use a number line or you can use your addition, writing it downwards that way. And question 3 says 84 divided by 4. And question 4 says, what is the value of the 4-digit in 451? So I'd like you just to have a look at that for me first and pause the video now just to go through that. Okay, so let's go over the answers. So the first question, it says, how many children's favourite colour is green? So you look at the bar chart and we've got red, blue, yellow and green. So this is the green section. Now the numbers at the top, at the side here, so this is the y-axis is what it's called, goes up in 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And it says that those numbers are the number of children that chose that colour. So when I zoom in, just so we can see it a little bit closer, green is in between the line that is 4 and the line that is 6. So that means that must be at 5. So if you wrote 5, well done. It's between the 4 and the 6. It must be 5. So well done if you got that one right. Okay, so our next question says, find the total of £3.25 plus £4.78. So if we turn these into pounds and pence, if we turn it into pennies, so £3.25 is 325 pence, and £4.78 is 478p. So that can help you. So what you can do is you could have done that on a number line, or you could have done 478, subtract 325, and that would have given you, added 478, add 325, silly Miss Lewis, add them together, and that will find the total of them. So you can add them together. Or you could start on 478 on a number line, and you can add the 300, then the 20, and then the 5. So hopefully you would have got £8.03 as your answer. So well done if you got that one right. Question 3, calculate 84 divided by 4. So you can draw 4 circles and you can share 84 into the 4 and count how many is in one circle. Or if you know your 4 times table, you can count up, and then you have to keep going until you get to 84 and see how many you get to. So hopefully you would have got, for that one, you would have got 21. What you could have also done, you could have divided 8 by 4, which is 2, and 4 by 4, which is 1, which I'm sure some of you did as well. So well done if you got that one. And then the last question, it said, what is the value of the 4-digit in 451? So the 4 is in the hundreds column. So the answer is 400, or you could write it as a word, 400s. I'm just going to zoom out for you so you can see all the answers. So they were the 4 answers. So well done if you got those right. Okay, let's have a look at our next part of our lesson. So it says here, explain how you think you could use the pictogram to complete the bar chart. So I've got a pictogram here. And my pictogram is a number of birds spotted. So imagine you're sitting in your garden or you're sitting in a park and you can see some birds. And each circle here is represented by 5 votes. So a robin was seen not 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, but 5, 10, 15, 20 times. So robin was spotted 20 times. Each one of those circles is 5 votes. And you can work these out because you know your 5 times table. So a pigeon, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Just going to double check that again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Then a sparrow, try and work that one out for yourself. How many times was the sparrow spotted and how many times was the dove spotted? Could you write those down for me? And I'm going to write down the other ones whilst you're working those out. Okay, let's have a look at sparrow. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So well done if you got that one right. Oops, 25. And then the dove, 5, 10. So only 10 times. Okay, so that is my pictogram, and I've written my numbers just to help us with our totals. Now over here, it says a bar chart. So bar chart to show the number of birds seen in the garden. And again, we've got our 2 lines like I showed you earlier. Now the one going down here is called the y-axis. And this one usually has our numbers. And our numbers, just like our pictogram was, is going up in 5s. And it's quite faint. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. But there are lines as well. So you can see there's a line going across here, which shows our 5. That's our y-axis. And at the bottom here, this is called the x-axis. And we've got the categories of birds. We've got robin, pigeon, sparrow, and dove. And that is titled birds. So we can now use this information to draw our bar graph. So a bar chart is when we have bars instead of pictures or circles. So we're going to draw our bars to help us. So I'm going to use my knowledge of robin. Robin was seen 20 times. So I'm going to use this, and because it's on the computer, I can use a straight line, but you would use a ruler if you were drawing this in your book. So a bar chart to show the number of birds. So a robin is this section here. So from here, I'm going to draw my line going up, and I'm going to do that until I get to 20. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. So 20 is that line there. I can see that's in line with the 20. And I'm going to draw my line going across. So there is my bar to show that 20 robins were seen. Okay, let's go for pigeon. Now pigeon was 35, which I can see is all the way up here. So again, I'm going to start here and I'm going to draw my line all the way up to 35. And I can see 35, if I drop it there, you can see that that's now in line with 35. I'm going to draw my line across, but I'm not going to draw it all the way to here. I'm going to draw it just to there, and I'm drawing it there because this section here is pigeon. If I go across, that's going into the robin section. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to stay with that section, and I'm going to draw my line down. There, so I've got my robin is at 20, my pigeon is at 35. 25 now, so I'm going to draw mine now from 25. That's how many times a sparrow was seen. I'm going to draw it up to 25 and drop it there. I'm going to check that I'm happy with that. Yep, I'm happy with that. That is at 25. I'm going to draw my line going across, and again I'm going to stop it at that bar because if I carried on going it would go into the other columns. And then dove was 10, so I'm going to start from here, draw my line up to 10, make sure it's nice and straight, and I'm going to draw my line going across. I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm going to just stop there in the dove section. So that is my bar chart, and what you could then do is you could then colour it in if you wanted to. So I'm going to see if this works. So I could have, nope, that's not going to work there. What you can do is you can colour it in. I'm not going to waste too much of your time now, but you could then colour in your bars. So I might choose to do robin, I might colour it in, and you would do all the way down. And then you could do pigeon a different colour, sparrow a different colour, and dove a different colour. That's how we can work like that. Okay, so that is my bar chart that represents exactly the same information as my pictogram. Okay, I'm going to zoom out and then we're going to keep going. Explain how the table has been used to complete the bar chart. So here I've got my table of information. Again, number of birds spotted, 20, pigeon, 35, sparrow, 25, and dove. A bar chart to show, so this is the bar chart, so they've coloured theirs in, and they haven't done their bars all the way across like I have, but that's fine. It's easier to draw it all the way across like I did. Explain how the table has been used to complete the bar chart. Well, all they've done is we've used the numbers that we had in our pictogram or the numbers we used in our table to turn that into our bars, and that's how we've done it, like I've just shown you there. So now we're going to answer some questions about our bar chart, so we can use this to help us. So the question says, which year group read the most books? So this bar chart is about number of books, and it says a bar chart to show the number of books read over the summer. So on the y-axis, this one down here, it says number of books read, and on the x-axis, it's got the year groups, year 1, year 2, year 3, which is the highest, year 4, year 5, and year 6. So question 1, which year group read the most books? So I look at the number of books read, and I can see the highest one is the green column, which is year 3. So the answer for that first question would be year 3. Okay, let's go to our next question. Which year group read the fewest books? That's the least number. So I'd like you to have a look at the bar graph, and you can pause the video now if you'd like to. Which one read the least number of books? Have a look at it carefully. You can use the numbers to help you, or just have a look at the bars to see which one was the fewest. If you said year 6, well done, that's fantastic. So year 1 was close to it, but year 6 was only a small amount. And if I go across here, it's actually only 30 books read in year 6 compared to the 80 that was read in year 3. Fantastic. So that one was year 6. How many books did year 3 and year 4 read all together? So you have a look at what year 3 read. You have a look at what year 4 read, and you add that number together. Now I'm going to draw a line just to help you see. So year 3 was here. So that's 80, just to help you see that line. So year 80 books are read in year 3, and year 4 is this blue bar. If I make this a little bit longer, this line, you can see it's going to the 60. So you now need to add 80, add 60 together. We're saying how many all together. So can you pause the video for me and do 80 and 60 together for me? Okay, hopefully you would have done 80 and 60 and you would have got 140. So well done if you got that. If you didn't get that, pause the video and just double check your answer. Now you can do it this way. You could either write it down going underneath it, so you could do 80 plus the 60, or you could do 8 add 6, which is 14, and then add the 0 at the end, whatever works best for you. 80 add 40, or you count your tens. And the last question on this slide says, what is the difference between the number of books read by year 1 and year 5? What is the difference? So that's what you want to see, what the difference is between the numbers here and the number here. So again, I'm going to draw a line to help you. Year 1, you can see, read 40 books. And year 5, which is this orange bar, read 70 books. So you need to know what the difference is. Have a think about how you can work out the difference. You've done this with coins because we worked out the difference between 2 values earlier on last week. So have a think for me of what you could do to work out the difference and then write down your answer. So pause the video now just to go through that for me, please. Okay. So you could have done it in different ways. So if you did 70, which is how much year 5 had, subtract 40, which is how much year 1 had, you would have got your answer. You could have started on 40 and you could have counted on a number line until you got to 70 to see how many you jumped, which I know I did with a few children when we were working out with money. However you did it. So if I put 40 in my head and I count on until I get to 70, 50, 60, 70, I've added 30 more. So the difference is 30. So well done if you got that correct. 30 books difference. Okay, let's carry on. The mathstronaut wants to turn this tally chart into a bar chart. What does she need to remember? So here we have a tally chart and it's looking at favourite drink. She's got water, fizzy drink, orange, apple, blackcurrant, or other. And they've done their tally chart. So again, we've got 5, that's equivalent to 5, that little section there. Now, if she's drawing a tally chart, bar chart, things that she needs to remember to do. I'd like you to pause the video and have a think of all the things that she's going to need to remember to draw a bar chart that looks like this. Pause the video, just have a think and write down a list of things that she needs to have. Okay, now I'm going to write my list here for you. Hopefully you've got some really good ideas and you can add this to your list. So first of all, with a bar chart like this, she needs to use a ruler. So when she's drawing her axes, so her y-axis and her x-axis, she needs to use a ruler. And she needs to use a ruler when she's drawing her bars. Because if she doesn't, it's going to look a real mess. So the first thing I'm going to write on her list is she needs to use a ruler. Or if you haven't got a ruler at home, use a straight edge. Okay. Another thing she needs to remember is she has to label her axes. So this y-axis here, this long line down here, is titled number of books read. And my x-axis across here is the year group. And if you don't label those, you don't know what it could be. For example, if I didn't have this section here, I might think this could be how many brothers or sisters they have, or how many cars they have at home. You've got to label it to make sure the person who's reading the information knows what it's about. So my next thing on my list is going to be label the axes. That's what it's called. The lines are going across and down, the axes. Okay. Another thing I need to include is I need to have my numbers. Now my numbers aren't random. They're chosen sensibly. And that's because if my highest number that I had was 3,000 and I was going to count up in ones, your bar chart would be so tall, it would be ridiculous. So I've chosen my scales really carefully. So the scale that you're choosing to count in, whether it's in 5s or 10s or 2s or 100s, if your one's really large, is carefully chosen. So I'm going to write on her list, I'm going to write sensible scale chosen. Okay. So I've done those 3 things. I'm using a ruler, I'm labeling the axes, and I've got a sensible scale chosen. I also need to have a title, a bar chart to show the number of books read over the summer. Your bar chart needs to have a title. So I'm going to include that in my list as well. There we go. They are the main things for her to remember. If you've added anything else, fantastic. Add that to your list and then put that onto Tapestry with your work and I'll see what else you've added. But that's what I'm going to include in mine. Okay, let's keep going. Now, this is your independent task. You're going to choose between activity 1, activity 2, and activity 3. Then you could challenge yourself with the challenge questions. So I know some of you found the challenge questions a bit tricky yesterday. So try, and if you aren't able to do them, let me know in the live and we'll go through them together. So activity 1, I'm just going to zoom out for us. Use the table to complete the bar chart. So I've got my table here and it says colour and votes. Let's say it's going to be favourite colour. Blue, 18, green, 14, yellow, 16, red, 8, and other was 12. You will need to add the bars, the axes labels, and the title. So if you're doing this on a piece of paper, you need to draw your axes really carefully. You need to label it and use your numbers as well. Now, if you haven't got squared paper, which is what I've got in school like this, which is what we normally do on maths, but you've got lined paper, that's fine. Because you can see on here, if I zoom in for you, they've only got lined paper and they've done lines going across where the lines meet those and they're going up in 2s, so be careful with that. So that's what the first activity is. Make sure you have your title and your axes labelled as well. Activity 2, answer the questions about the bar chart. So you've got a bar chart here about the favourite flavour of ice cream in year 3. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, mint, toffee or other. And the numbers going up in 2s again at the side. What information is missing from the bar chart? So is there something that I've said you need to include on your bar chart that's missing on here? What is the most popular flavour of ice cream? What is the least popular flavour of ice cream? What is the difference between the votes for mint and the votes for chocolate? How many votes were there in total? So you're going to have to do all of those, add 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 all of those, and write a question for your own about the bar chart. So you're going to write your own question, and if I see that, I'll try to answer it looking at the bar chart. Activity 3, you're going to draw your bar chart from scratch using this tally chart to help you. So you're going to put this information into a bar chart. So I'm sure a lot of you will be able to do that. And don't forget again to label the axes, use your ruler, draw the title and draw your bars carefully. And then here's your challenges. You've got 3 challenges. I'm going to go through them here. Here is a bar chart to show points scored in a quiz. So this time my scale at the side is going up in 3s. And you've got the different teams. Team B have more points than Team D, but Team D has fewer than Team C. Complete the bar chart to show how many points Team B and D could have. Question over here. A class collects data about goals. Team A scores 5 goals. Team B scored 5 fewer goals than Team C. Team D scored 10 goals and Team C scored 10 more goals than Team D. Draw a bar chart to display the information. That one is quite difficult. You're going to have to write carefully what they work. You're going to have to work out what each team scored. And you choose a suitable scale carefully. Might have to go up in 2s, that one. Julia draws a bar chart to show the number of children having school dinners. Julia says 44 Year 3 children have school dinners. Is she correct? Explain your answer. You're going to have to look very carefully. I'm going to zoom in for you there at where Year 3, where that line goes. Okay. Some of those challenges are quite tricky, so I'm happy to go through them with you tomorrow in the live. I'd like you to really have a go at doing them if you think you're able to. Good luck, and I will see you in tomorrow's live session. Goodbye, Pankhurst class.